Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about 5v5 counters from the current 5v5 season. These are the initial counters that I'm going to show you. Eventually I will put out a better video with percentages and actual data from the first week. But this is this is the first thing that we're going to do about GAC this season. After our initial contact, I destroyed my opponent. It was so cool of me. You know how it is, how people win at GAC and stuff. It's crazy. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. You could be the 23,000th, I don't know how to say that, subscriber to my channel, guys. It's amazing that you have that opportunity. You're welcome. So let's all right, let's jump right into this. Actually, how do you beat the new Ahsoka team? So we're using Cere the Eternal Emperor and Bane in this one. I'll try to find a Troopers video for you guys. Troopers can beat this team, actually. If they don't have Fulcrum Ahsoka, Troopers can beat it. But, okay, so note, yes, Ahsoka is taunting, but you don't have to link her with Cere the Eternal because you have Bane. Bane and his unique let you ignore her taunt, so you can link Ezra and you can link Sabine, and I think that's probably the most important part. Now, I've seen people do this fight a little bit faster and easier than this in Arena. I don't really know if that's how it should be in GAC or not, honestly. I'm just not sure, but one way or another, you want to kill Ezra as soon as you can, and then after that, I mean, you can just kind of autopilot it. You can, yeah, it's. I think ideally, one mistake that I made that you'll see here in a minute is I didn't play with my food for long enough. I should have killed Ahsoka. Or I should have killed Hera later so that we could get all of Ahsoka's protection out with the link from what's his name, Cere the Eternal Emperor. But one way or another, I mean, she doesn't regen enough to really make things rough. This wasn't too bad. This wasn't too bad. Honestly, it's a little bit embarrassing that the new hotness loses to this. Especially for like full banners without having to worry about anything. Okay, so a couple different teams on how to beat Jabba. This one is with Dengar and his Datacron. I don't think that we're actually going to see Dengar and his Datacron a couple times here. The first one is how you should use the Dengar Datacron. The second instance is how you should not use it. So in this instance, he's a scoundrel, a dark side scoundrel who works with Afra, which means that the team doesn't really it's not negatively impacted by anything. She can still summon her droid. She still gets all of her stacks of Siphon, all of that. And in fact, she gets more stacks of Siphon because her ally, who's a dark side scoundrel, is doing AoEs and doing debuffs, or at least attempting them. So anyways, as your opponent takes turns, of course, Dengar is going to take turns as well. And remember, I think I selected, I don't remember now if this is the Kron that does extra damage for mercenaries or if this is the one that I don't really think it matters. I think it might have been the one that stuns, but one way or another, I mean, we killed that Boosh super easily, and this is against a person who is in a one of the top territory war guilds. So this is, it's well modded, and I mean, it's pretty standard. I have 3 Omicrons on Afra, You guys have seen me do these do this counter all the time. If you come and watch me live, which is linked in the video description, by the way, then you can see it. But one way or another, we've done this quite a bit. Just tried to take out Jabba. Looks like Chrysanthemum kind of got his groove back a little bit. He got his life back at least. Good for him. Let's set him on fire. Seems like why don't Wookiees, why don't they have some kind of art that allows you to see the Wookiee on fire? Seems like they're not just impervious to fire, right? Like they actually their hair is not somehow fire retardant. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We killed Jabba. Okay, so here's the second way to kill Jabba. This way is with you guys. I've made a video of this before. You guys can go watch it. It's just Starkiller versus Jabba. This is on my alt account, and my opponent had a way bigger roster than mine. Way better mods, way better everything. But if you know how to counter these things, then you know how to counter them. The big thing, the mistake my opponent made was they put Dengar on the team. Because whereas Dengar's a mercenary and a couple of the other characters are mercenaries as well, Dengar is not Hutt cartel. So don't do this because it turns off Boosh's thing. You know how Boosh is like, hey, you can't assist for until you've taken a couple turns. It turns that off because she needs all allies to be Hutt cartel. Similarly, Chrysanthemum doesn't have a pre-taunt because of the Hutt cartel thing. And so Dengar, even though he's taking lots of turns, does not make that Jabba team super happy. Like the Jabba team is worse for having Dengar, even though his Kron is really strong. It's still significantly worse because we don't even have to worry about Chrysanthemum. He's just not taunting. He's not doing anything. Let's just kill Dengar real quick because he is kind of an obnoxious fellow. And anyways, we've got the Starkiller Kron, and I mean the battle's basically already done. I mean, just not having to worry about Chrysanthemum having just holding his taunt forever because of an errant resist from Mara Jade's wiles. Like it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice just having a pretty sure thing here. Just take out Chrysanthemum, and then you gotta gamble here. I didn't want to do the heal yet in case Jabba was gonna take another turn and throw a bunch of thermals, which apparently he did anyways. But ideally, the last move we take is going to be with Starkiller summoning the Star Destroyer of Healing. So, the Holy Hand Grenade, the Holy Star Destroyer of Healing. Alright guys, so, yeah, you guys can go watch a video on that. I've done that counter quite a few times. It's way easier with Dengar on it though, so don't put Dengar on the Hutt team. Now, this is one I keep meaning to make a video about this. This is how you use Inquisition to counter Jedi Master Kenobi. You know, with Reva and all of that. So you may be tempted to just ability block so that Cat can't kill Reva right away. But remember, Reva has 3 lives, right? Ironically, Cat killing someone who also has multiple lives. Cats have 9 lives. Reva only has 3, but she'll gladly spend that life because she's taunting. She'll come back, and then you'll be fine. So you kind of want Cat to do her initial big hit just to get it out of the way because it's not going to impact your team negatively, instead of her like being able to snipe another character later down the line when you don't have taunt. So instead, do the defense down thing on Kenobi, and you kind of just lap them anyways. So you call the... Well, yeah, you do defense down. I think it's called torture on him. Kenobi does his damage immunity. Now, you got to be careful here, guys. This one you don't want to you don't want to use the one on the far right. You don't want to use his 3rd ability with 5th brother because that will fear Cat. And remember, we want Cat to do her initial kill. Right? If she takes a turn, we want it to be to kill Reva because we don't want her to kill someone else later. So use 5th brother here to just do the AoE dispel. That's all you need to do. Or even just a basic is fine, but you don't want to fear Cat and doing this move, doing the third ability, will put fear on her. You can read the whole kit if you want. I'm not going to explain it further than that, but you don't want, see, I'm explaining to the stream here about how to do it as well. And now I do a basic here because, again, Cat hasn't taken a turn yet, and we don't want her to kill someone else with her AoE. So just keep her, and doing the AoE with Grand Inquisitor is going to give, giving her the, doing the AoE with Grand Inquisitor is going to give her ability block. Now, we need to take out Cat here because she has Death Mark. So got her. Apparently at some point, someone has been affected by Death Mark, or has been affected by Saviors. So Saviors out of the way. I mean, just follow the Death Mark at this point. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy at this point. Oh, look at that. He popped his ult. That'll save him. You'll see. You'll see how it saves him, right? We'll all see. That's great. Keep going, guys. Come on. We don't have all day. Okay, we don't want to do the AoE because he's missing protection, and it would equalize protection and therefore reduce our banners from like 64 to a 60 or something like that. So 64, good to go. It was a trap to do the AoE there. Just button mashing. Okay, 2 instances of this. I might fast forward one of them, but I'll let you guys see it on my main. So this is against the Inquisition that are on defense. We're just using Cere. I have high relics on this team, and then I did it again on my alt with the exact same team comp, but way worse relics. And gosh, okay, so the Grand Inquisitor has a really good Datacron currently, and the team is really strong. Putting him on defense is just so crazy. Look at Darth Talon just going off there, just knocking people out with her Relic 8 madness. You don't need Relic 8 on her, to be clear, guys. Okay, so yeah, you kill Grand Inquisitor first because he's the one who's going to impact things the most. Like, yes, if you're at risk of not killing this team, then yeah, just kill Reva so that you can clean it up at least. But if you're not really at risk, if you're like, okay, well, I'm winning easily, like everything is going well, kill Grand Inquisitor with Nihilus first because he's the one who's going to orchestrate the damage that kills your team. If you're in the you don't want him to make a comeback, and he's the guy who would help them come back from it. As it stands, I mean, even with this really good Datacron, guys, this was just too easy. 64, so super easy. This is on my alt account. You can see the exact same team comp. Way worse relics, though. I think Talon has the highest relics, which is, she's at relic 5, and then Cere is at like 4, everyone else is at 3. It's just a total mess. But you can see my opponent has at least relic 7 on everyone. So anyways, I decided to just, I didn't have the option to kill Grand Inquisitor there, so I just took out Reva. I was like, you know what, I may as well just knock her out. And then, I mean, the rest, as they say, is history. Let's fast forward it a bit. Okay, so just another example of, I like to show this every season to show, like, yes, this is still something that works. I do have Maul here to help just because I wanted to make sure it would work with Fulcrum. This is the one with, this is Rey with Fulcrum, and I don't really think Fulcrum helps Rey that much, honestly. This was kind of sneaky though, because with Sortie, they made they gave Fulcrum VIP, which means she was going to be stealthed all the time, so that we couldn't actually hit Fulcrum, which is kind of her big weakness, is getting hit. Some people's weakness is cake. Other people's weakness is getting hit. So I did time it so that my final hit with Maul would just one shot, or finish off without having to worry about damage immunity on L3. So now we're just, I mean, we took out Ben as well, which is really nice. Of course, there's no revives with Malicos present with all of his Omicrons. So Ben's not coming back, and neither is Sortie. Ah, the Rock Toss almost took Fulcrum out. Not quite. Let's just take her out now. Goodbye, Fulcrum. And okay, so Ray was able to supercharge her abilities right now. So she actually almost killed a lot of the guys in our group because she's been able to ramp her damage by so much, which is kind of a function of the team that she took. So I guess, I mean, in theory, that team could be pretty good on defense, I guess. Here's one. This is almost more like bragging than anything. And honestly, we probably shouldn't take all the time to do this one. Probably should have sped it up a little bit. The thing I want to point out here, folks, is Dengar, or not Dengar, Dash Rendar is still really strong here. Queel is the 5th member of this party just because he gives so many stats to everyone. This is on my alt against my opponent's Jedi Master Luke team, and if you ever wanted a reason not to take the traditional Jedi Master Luke team on defense, this is one of those reasons. You can see they just keep going, and it takes a while to actually take any turns. The one thing that I've learned over the course of time is L3 is really nice here, because as they do damage to her and as she's taunting and everything, then she's able to dispel the debuffs that they cause on the other members of her team, which is honestly a really nice thing. It sounds pretty obvious, but because the team stays in ability block and stun for so long, it is just nice to be able to wipe some of that out sometimes, and people get dazed and all that. So we're trying to kill Jedi Revan first here before we kill, because if we kill Jedi Master Luke first, which is actually a possibility, even though it doesn't really seem like it here much, the possibility is if we kill him first, then Revan will just use his savior ability on him. So we got to kill Revan first. Oh gosh, everyone got stunned again. So frustrating. It's 2.5 minutes. We haven't killed anyone, but as we move along here, yeah, so just do the AoE. And then Nest ignores Taunt. So that's the reason you want Nest on this team, is because she can go in and take out Revan. Yeah, okay. So Revan, now there's no revives. There's no pseudo revives. There's nothing. Okay, kill Basti. Basti's not a good 5th member to that team. Like, Revan's good. Jedi Luke is good. Even Hoda is good. I would say Basti is not a good 5th option for that team. Oh, look, Hoda just died from Nest's AoE. Wonderful. It's magical. Just taking out young Luke. Now we can kill old Luke. You know, it's an age thing. It's not. I don't know what it is, but anyways, we got him. Cool, good for us. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Okay, so this one doesn't have a pre-taunt, but I figured I'd add this in, even though a lot of people like to put crew on this team for the pre-taunt, because a lot of people also put the Malicos Datacron on. Now, this is a Malicos with only one Omicron. That doesn't really matter. So it's Padme with Gideon, and of course we call it the Gidme team. And then you see Ethkoth, he's a support. Grandmaster Yoda, he's a support, and so is Shakti, and then of course Padme is as well. And so the idea is you do the, I mean, we've talked about this a lot before, but we use the turn meter reduction ability from Moff Gideon to hand a bunch of protection up to the rest of the team, and they turn that into courage and to start one-shotting people. So you can see we did that. This Malicos was actually modded for protection, but we just needed 2 people to be able to take him out. And so once we took Malicos out, which he wasn't that scary anyways, if we're being honest, but he was scary enough. Just even with one Omicron, we want to take him out. Cere can actually one-shot our characters if we're not careful. it depends on how she's modded, how good she is. But we want to take out Cere first, and then after that, I mean, they can do some damage, and I think that at some point, Second Sister kind of surprises me here. But see, we're trying to just keep all these stacks of courage on Shakti so that she can just go in and one-shot someone, even if they're modded for protection. With all those stacks of courage, she does percent health damage. And you know what? Let's fast forward this, because after this, I mean, it's really... I think they kill... Yeah, they even killed Padme. What an upset, but eventually we take him out, no problem. Now, for the final fight here, oh, hello there, Cal. I see you're still here. Interesting. For the final fight, it's Lord Vader. This is this is a little bit different than you guys have seen the counter with Bando, right? With Beskar Mando, and I wanted to show you guys like an alternative version of it. So this is a Lord Vader team. It's got Thrawn, it's got Maul, the Royal Guard, and then I think that's Tarkin, which he's whatever. Piet makes this way like probably kind of impossible, but Tarkin's fine. The idea here is Lord Vader goes first, Maul does his AoE, and then because we have Zori on the team, she's boosting our speed by enough that Bosk and what's his name go first and second after that, Grief. And then Bosk takes another turn because of his frenzy. He has to call a mass assist to make sure that Mando gets his buffs that he needs to be able to one-shot someone. And so note how this works. Because we're using Fennec, we get once we do the cleanse with Grief, we get our contract immediately. So we have to do, you don't want to taunt again with Bosk, you need to call a mass assist, so then you can shoot Thrawn. Now, this doesn't always work against some opponents because Thrawn is going to go first a lot of times because he's so fast with Lord Vader, but my opponent didn't mod him to be faster than that. So instead, we let Maul just kill poor old Bosk here because I don't have Bando available. I used him with Bo-Katan, and this is still a possible counter. They even had the Maul revives Kron on, as you could see, but I mean, we had to gamble a little bit here in this fight. Anyways, my opponent had a ton of stuff on defense. He ended up not being able to clear even one zone. He had placed so much on defense. We did get the full clear, even though we placed like 5 GLs on defense and I only had 1 on offense, and that one didn't actually kill anything. He just failed. We still full cleared our opponent. So, pretty good. Lord Vader, I mean, he's only Relic 7. People disrespect him, and I understand that, but ended up getting the decent kill. So anyways, those are the counters that I have for you today, folks. Still killing all the Galactic Legends, still doing some good stuff. We'll talk about the other more common teams and their win percentages and what should counter them probably sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. And until then, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Take care, folks.